Hello everyone and welcome to another GoGo Muffin video. Before we dive in here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell and drop a like on the video too if you're enjoying the content. Don't forget to join our Discord server as well if you're not already there. The link is in the description down below. We've also activated our channel membership which comes with all kinds of perks, so check that out if you're interested in joining. And speaking of channel membership, I do want to take a moment to give a special shout out to our current members. So thanks to all of you, and I hope you're enjoying the benefits. And finally, a reminder that all comments on every video will be automatically entered into our weekly giveaways. Winners will be randomly selected every Monday. So good luck, and let's get this started. Well, I hope you've all been enjoying the latest progression system added to our game, the Stellar Path. If you're on a server that has unlocked the system, you're probably well aware by now just how much of a significant damage increase this system is. Not just in single target, but in AoE as well. The Stellar Path is a massive, important system. And because of that, I think it's incredibly important that we understand intrinsically and at a very high level how to properly optimize the gains in this system. Now, there are quite a few different things to understand about the Stellar Path system, but in this video we're going to be taking a look at Ascensions and understanding exactly the best practices to level them up. Now, there is a sort of a rolling rock gathers moss effect when it comes to this Ascension system, as the more you level them up in an appropriate way, the faster you generate resources, and so it is very, very important that you know how to do this properly. So let's jump into the Stellar Path system now and take a look at these Ascensions. So like I explained in the previous video, the Ascensions here are a sort of mini progression system within the overall Stellar Path system, and these Ascensions, which are these 6 items here, these Corona Ring, Chromacity Cavity, Core, and Mantle, they are independent of the skill you have selected. So as I've said before, if you tab between the various skills, you'll see that they all have these same ascension levels. Now, how exactly does this system work? Well, basically, like I said in the previous video, you collect these memory essences and inspiration, and using those you level up these ascensions. And in order to acquire these resources, you get them from the bottom right here claim button, which is a passive generation of these resources. Now, you do have a chance when claiming to get additionally infinity prisms, but it's a pretty low chance, and I wouldn't count on this being a major source of infinity prisms unless you have really good RNG. But more importantly, there are some important things to understand about the order of leveling and the best way to do this. So in my video I said you should try to get all to 25, then all to 50, and all to 75, and that's definitely the case, but let's take a look at exactly why. The reason we're doing that is because if you click on any one of these ascensions, you will see that they have a promotion effect here. So when you get to level 25, and this applies to all of them now, they do have different promotion details, which we'll look at in a second, but they have some basics that remain a constant. So at level 25, it increases the collection rate of memory essence to 42 per hour, and at level 50, it's 54 per hour. So when you reach these level thresholds, you are unlocking these additional effects here, which means that the more of these level thresholds you reach, the faster you generate resources. And the difference between someone who has effectively leveled their ascensions to these thresholds in a more efficient way than someone else is significant. And I've compared my ascension levels to players who hadn't done this properly, and they're like 40 to 50, and here I am at 75, 67, 75, etc. That's not because I've spent more money than them. It's just because I've gone ahead and gotten to these level thresholds at an earlier point than them and allowed me to generate more resources over time. So it's incredibly important that you do this from the beginning. Now, for DPS, you are going to want to follow a specific order with which you're going to prioritize first. Now, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because you're going to be trying to max everything out, but as you level them up, it's obviously going to take more and more materials. It's going to take longer and longer to generate enough materials to level them up. So it's important to know exactly what you should take them to in order to benefit the most along the way. So you've probably already noticed each of the Ascensions have a main stat. So you can see here Stellarian HP, this one has Stellarian Attack, this one has Defense, this has HP, this has attack, and this also has defense. But that is just one aspect of the stats to be gained here. You'll also notice on the promotion details that actually you get additional stats here. So for example, at the level 50 bonus, every 100 points of tenacity increases the Stellarian's HP by 300. So we have these additional effects that differ from the various ascensions here. And the most important from a DPS perspective is going to be your core and your ring #1, because these give the base attack here, but also your chromacity and cavity. And I've actually made a mistake because I didn't notice this early enough, because I've gotten my mantle and corona here to level 75 first before cavity and chromacity, so I'm temporarily missing out on some stats. And you'll see when you click on this, the every 100 points of determination increases attack by 3, and then cavity, you can see here, every 100 points of haste increases attack by 3. So even though these do not give base attack, they give additional attack through this promotion bonus here. So I sort of misspoke when I said I made a mistake here, because they are already level 50. But I'm just saying in general, you should definitely prioritize core, ring, chromacity, and cavity first, and then follow up with corona and mantle. Now, if you are a tank, you might reverse that order and basically go corona, mantle, chromacity, cavity, and then core, ring if you want to focus on only your tanking capabilities. But otherwise, DPS healers and obviously DPS tanks would follow the core, ring, chromacity, cavity, followed by mantle, corona last process, because that is the most optimal way to level them up. Now, one thing that's important as well, because some people might think, okay, well great, well can't we just power level just these 4 and get them up to like level 200 and leave the other 2 that we don't need at a lower level? And you actually cannot do this. Now, I do not have enough materials to show this right now, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. But the reason you cannot do this is that you are limited. You can only have a 25 level difference between your highest level ascension and your lowest level ascension. So that means right now, even though I can level up my ring here, I won't be able to level it up past level 78 because my lowest is level 53. So the game actually doesn't allow you to just power level 2 or 3 or 1 of these ascensions. You have to actually level them all up relatively evenly. So that's why it's actually, the game's almost forcing you to follow the rules. It's like, okay, we put these promotion details here. How do we make sure players don't miss the plot and just power level 1 stat? So they basically force you to level them up evenly, but that is still the best way to do it. So you're going to go 25, 50, 75, 100, etc. across all of them, going in the order of core and ring, followed by chromacity and cavity for DPS, and probably the opposite, corona and mantle, chromacity, cavity, and then core, ring for tanks. So there you have it, just a little insight into the ascension system and how to properly level these up and make sure that you're basically getting the most out of the system along the way. Even if the ultimate goal is to max everything, obviously that takes time, and while you are waiting for this resource to generate, it's important that you're getting as much beneficial stats from this as you possibly can. So that's it for this video about Ascensions. Hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time. I'm sure there'll be many more videos coming about this deep and interesting Stellar Path system. So take care everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.